Welcome back to Bobby King Iraqi Dinar News with your host, Bobby King, coming to you straight from Iraq. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and support the channel so you never miss the latest updates. Now, let's get into today's key piece of news, which is huge. I finally found a bond person who is not under an NDA. This is massive. I'm really excited to see what happens next. Stay tuned. Let's get started. The key piece of news this morning is something that could be a significant step in Iraq's economic evolution, a development that might just signal the long-awaited culmination of its financial reformation. After extensive searching, I've finally found a bond person who is not under an NDA, non-disclosure agreement. This person, involved in a large bond deal, provided crucial information. There is a final bond contract scheduled to be paid on the 18th. This may not seem like a monumental development on the surface, but its implications could be far-reaching, particularly for those closely following Iraq's economic situation, specifically the revaluation of the Iraqi dinar. The fact that NDAs are no longer required on bond deals from the 18th suggests a shift in strategy, one that might indicate Iraq's financial system is finally ready to go international. Why this matters? Unpacking the significance of the 18th. So, what exactly could this mean? For those who have been tracking the RV closely, the payment of the final bond contract on the 18th appears to signal a key milestone. Bonds and currencies, especially in Iraq's case, are deeply connected. Historically, the plan has been clear. First, handle historic bonds, then initiate a revaluation, and finally reset Iraq's currency system. This development suggests that the bond portion of the process may be wrapping up, indicating that we are now closer to the revaluation phase. The absence of NDAs after the 18th hints at the end of the secrecy around these transactions. It means that Iraq could be preparing to step fully into the international financial system, something that has been the end goal all along. Once the majority of bonds are settled, the need for secrecy diminishes. The completion of bond deals in an open market without the legal restrictions imposed by NDAs is a strong indicator that Iraq is on the verge of a major financial shift. The importance of the bond market in Iraq's financial strategy. The bond market plays a pivotal role in this broader economic strategy. Bonds are debt instruments issued by governments to raise capital. Iraq has used bonds as part of its financial recovery and restructuring efforts, especially in recent years. These bonds, particularly historic bonds tied to long-standing debts, needed to be dealt with before any substantial currency reform could occur. The fact that the final bond contract is due to be paid on the 18th suggests that this phase of Iraq's financial reform is nearly complete. But why would NDAs suddenly no longer be necessary after the 18th? One plausible explanation is that once these bond payments are made, the information will no longer need to be kept confidential. The secrecy surrounding these deals is likely tied to the financial stability of Iraq and the larger global implications of its economic restructuring. Why the 18th could be a turning point today is the 15th, and that means we are just 3 days away from this key date. If the need for NDAs is truly eliminated by then, it suggests that the broader plan for Iraq's economic recovery, including currency revaluation, could be about to enter its final stage. Once bond deals are finalized and no longer require confidentiality, it may indicate that the process is ready to go public. Many analysts have long predicted that Iraq's currency revaluation would follow the resolution of its bond payments. The fact that we are now seeing final bond contracts being paid, coupled with the lifting of NDA requirements, strongly suggests that the RV could occur in tandem with or shortly after this milestone. This also ties into the broader strategy of Iraq moving towards internationalism. The country has been steadily working towards integrating itself into the global economy. A revaluation of its currency would be a significant step in that direction, signaling that Iraq is ready to play a more prominent role on the world stage. Historic bonds, revaluation, and reset. How it's all connected. The process we are witnessing in Iraq is not happening in isolation. It's part of a larger, carefully orchestrated plan that includes the settlement of historic bonds, the revaluation of the dinar, and a broader financial reset. Each step of this process is interlinked, and the successful completion of one phase paves the way for the next. The settlement of historic bonds is a crucial step because it clears the financial slate, so to speak. These bonds represent long-standing debts, and until they are resolved, the country's financial future remains uncertain. By paying off these bonds, Iraq is demonstrating its financial stability and signaling to the world that it is ready to move forward. Once the bonds are dealt with, the next logical step is the revaluation of the dinar. For years, Iraq has been working towards this moment, implementing reforms, engaging in negotiations with international financial institutions, and making strides in its domestic economy. The revaluation of the dinar would not only reflect Iraq's improved financial standing but would also have far-reaching implications for the global economy. Following the revaluation, the final phase of this process is the reset. This is where Iraq fully integrates itself into the global financial system, with a stable currency, a healthy bond market, and a functioning economy that is open to international trade and investment. The removal of NDAs on bond deals could be the first sign that Iraq is ready to move into this final phase. Watching the next 4 days closely. The next 4 days are critical. While no one knows the exact timing of the revaluation, the developments surrounding the bond market give us a strong indication that we are approaching the endgame. The fact that NDAs will no longer be required starting on the 18th is a major clue that things are moving quickly. It is important to remember, though, that even with these promising signs, there are still many factors at play. The revaluation of a country's currency is a complex process that involves not only domestic considerations but also international factors. However, the timing of the bond payments and the removal of NDAs suggest that Iraq is ready to take the next step. What this means for Iraq's international future. The revaluation of the Iraqi dinar and the resolution of its bond market are not just isolated events. They are part of a larger vision for Iraq's future. The country has been working towards this moment for years, with the goal of re-establishing itself as a key player in the global economy. Internationalism is where Iraq is headed. The country has made significant progress in recent years, implementing economic reforms, improving its infrastructure, and building stronger relationships with international partners. The revaluation of the dinar would be a major step in this process, signaling that Iraq is ready to move beyond its turbulent past and embrace a more stable, prosperous future. Iraq's leadership, including Prime Minister al-Sudani, has been clear about their vision for the country. They understand the importance of currency stability and have made it a priority to enhance the value of the dinar. The recent negotiations with the U.S. Federal Reserve and the Central Bank of Iraq indicate that Iraq is serious about revaluing its currency and taking its place on the world stage. Looking ahead, the final pieces of the puzzle. As we look ahead to the next few days, it is important to keep in mind that while the signs are promising, nothing is guaranteed. The revaluation of the dinar is a complex process that depends on many factors, both domestic and international. However, the developments we are seeing with the bond market suggest that Iraq is on the verge of a major financial shift. The fact that NDAs will no longer be required on bond deals starting on the 18th is a strong indication that the secrecy surrounding these transactions is no longer necessary. This suggests that Iraq is preparing to move forward with its plans for economic reform, including the revaluation of the dinar. Please subscribe my channel and support me. You guys have a great day. Thank you.